From the very beginning, I realized I saw the world differently than everyone else. That didn't sit well with some people.
Welcome back to Director's Choice. Cruella de Vil, one of the most truly villainous Disney characters to ever grace our screens. Very few villains even come close. I mean, even the most cold-hearted of villains at least had a soft spot for puppies. But not Cruella. She was just that evil.
The thing is, I was born brilliant.
But have you ever wondered what it would be like to be best friends with Cruella? Well, if you haven't, in this video I'll be telling you about what it would be like to be best friends with Cruella de Vil.
This doesn't have to be a scene.
It really, really does.
Forgiveness is not something that ranks high on Cruella's list of virtues. After all, she didn't get to be one of Disney's top villains by being kind and merciful. Now, revenge is something that you can easily find on her list. As her best friend, she'll help you get back at people that hurt you. Your boyfriend cheated on you? You can count on Cruella to help you cut holes in all his socks and trash his apartment. As her best friend, she'll make sure that you always get back at people when they hurt you. Will her methods be cruel? You can count on it.
That's how it works.
She doesn't believe in revenge being a dish best served cold. She'll dish it out while it's still piping hot. On the other hand, you can sometimes find yourself on the receiving end of her wrath. Like I said earlier, she isn't exactly the forgiving type of person. If you ever get into a fight with her, or she even thinks you've wronged her in any way, then you should be prepared to have her turn the full blast of her unforgiving fury on you.
So you go to parties and you take pictures and you print gossip. That's your job.
And you can expect that she'll go all the way to make your life miserable for even the smallest things. I'm talking about her deliberately crashing your car just because you got her cold water and not room temperature as she asked. She's vindictive, and sooner or later you'll find yourself on her bad side. Here's a little fun fact for you. Did you know her name, Cruella de Vil, is a play on the words cruel devil? That just goes to show you exactly how evil your best friend can be. I mean, you should know this already. Cruella would never let anything stop her from achieving what she wants to. She's a go-getter and will always find a way to make sure that she gets whatever she wants. I mean, she was going to skin and kill 99 innocent puppies just because she wanted a fur coat made from their fur.
I was just reading about you, the puppy killer.
Oh, well, I do love spots.
You didn't.
It didn't matter to her that the puppies were cute. She was only focused on what she wanted. Maybe this is a terrible example of her doing whatever she has to so she can get what she wants. But hey, it all depends on how you look at it, doesn't it? Do I even need to talk much about this? The woman was going to skin a whole bunch of cute puppies just for their fur. Did it matter to her that the fur was attached to the puppies and they would probably die afterward? Of course not. That didn't matter to her. I don't think it gets more psychopathic than this. Most cruel people would balk at the idea of killing a bunch of puppies, but not Cruella. She just wanted her fur coat no matter the consequences. And don't get me started about how she stole 15 puppies. Only mentally deranged people steal other people's pets. We all know this.
And I want to make trouble. You in?
I do love trouble.
For all her evil and psychopathic ways, Cruella is a very wealthy woman. Here's a bit of fun fact for you. She is worth an estimated net worth of about $875 million and is ranked by Forbes as the 13th wealthiest fictional character. That's a lot of money, and not many of us can boast of being friends with someone worth almost $1 billion. Sure, Cruella is immensely selfish, and you probably wouldn't even get $1, but you'll get recognition as Cruella's best friend. This way, you'd be something of a minor celebrity yourself and get free stuff all the time. You'd probably have hundreds of thousands of followers on social media too, just from being affiliated with her. On the flip side, being her friend is probably going to be like unpaid slave labor. She's spoiled, indulgent, and lazy, so she rarely lifts a finger to do her own work. Instead, she dumps it all on other people and makes them do all her work for her. As her best friend, a lot of that work would very likely be dumped on you. You would have to do all her work in addition to yours. And you wouldn't dare to complain, because if you did, she would turn her fury on you. And that isn't something you want. So you'd have no choice but to suck it up and do what she wants you to do, when she wants you to do it, and how she wants you to do it.
If I'm going to need to repeat myself a lot, this isn't going to work out. The necklace went in one end, yes?
Say all you want about Cruella, and there's a lot to say, but one thing that nobody can ever deny is that she's very fashionable. She owns her own fashion house, and so it's not all that surprising that she would always be dressed in an extremely fashionable manner all the time. Sometimes, she would do unethical things for the sake of fashion. Again, she was going to skin puppies alive. But at the end of the day, she always looks good. And of course, as her best friend, you can expect that some of her fashion skills would rub off on you, and you'll pick up one or two things on the way. Sure, she would insult you rather than gently advise you on your fashion choices, but hey, you know what to expect from your best friend.
Chanel, 1950, spring collection.
Ah, you know your gowns.
You and I are going to be very good friends, Artie.
Just like being forgiving isn't high on her priorities, being polite isn't either. Cruella is plain rude and self-centered. She believes that the whole world should revolve around her and her desires, and she throws tantrums when it doesn't. As her best friend, she'll constantly insult you, both in private and in public. She'll make fun of you maliciously and interrupt you when you're speaking, and won't apologize for her bad behavior.
Now you knew how to drive?
I don't.
There's a car!
At least you know her well enough not to expect apologies from her, so you wouldn't exactly be surprised when she doesn't offer any. Also, she'll throw temper tantrums when she isn't the center of attention, or you don't pay enough attention to her. For all her laziness and her sloth, she's actually smarter than average. I mean, she managed to steal 15 puppies and not leave a trace. The police know that she stole them, but they have no evidence to link her to the theft. In essence, she committed the perfect crime. And if you know anything at all about crimes, you'll know that this is a very impressive feat.
Poor little I'm going to cut you off, then cut you off.
Sure, she's evil, but this doesn't mean that she's any less smart for it. I think that makes her even scarier. Smart, evil people are even scarier, in my opinion. Cruella can be impulsive and often does things without taking time to think them through, and that leads her to make reckless mistakes. I think that if she actually took time to think before acting, she would make better choices. She gets even more reckless when she's angry, like her driving recklessly after the Dalmatians and crashing her car. As her best friend, you'd have to get very good at dodging, because she would likely throw various objects at you in the fit of her anger. But hey, your reflexes would be super sharp, so that's a plus.
Anita, darling, my darling.
Nobody can deny that Cruella is a villain, but even the worst villains have to have some friends, right? She's one of the cruelest villains out there, but being her best friend still comes with a few perks here and there. Of course, the perks are few and far between, but they're still there. What do you think of Cruella? What do you think being her best friend would be like? Let me know in the comments. Take a look at this recent clip by Director's Choice, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.